All right, all right. I've heard it 3 times in the last 3 days. We want to wait till spring. This is the common objection that we get this year, especially on expired listings. So we're gonna tackle today together exactly how to handle that and what to do. And also for any sellers listening, here are some reasons why potentially that's not a good idea. So again, this is the most common thing we hear from September through February, and again we'll go over it. So why do people or sellers say, or buyers even, like, why are they waiting until spring? Could be a reflex objection, could be a condition, but typically here's why. So low motivation, number one. The motivation was never there to sell the house at the right price, right? There's rampant overpricing in the market. Obviously, we have increasing inventory, increasingly more so. Our photographers are a couple, 2, 3 weeks out right now, which means there's a lot of inventory still coming on the market. So really, it could be a motivation problem. They don't have to sell. They're only going to sell if they get this crazy price that's way above any comps in the last year or two, 6 months, 3 months, whatever it is. All of these signs point to a low motivation. They have to get a certain price in order to sell, which has nothing to do with what someone wants for their house. Is not a comp. Okay, it is our job to be brutally honest with what the price should be on a house and not take an overpriced listing, because taking an overpriced listing just creates an expired listing. It doesn't matter what brand you're with or what brokerage, right now with so many options, people are not going to overpay for a home like they did in COVID. It is not that market. I don't even want to hear a COVID market anymore. Okay, we're not there. Number two, they're sick of the process. They're just sick of it. Okay, it didn't work out before. They don't think they've lost hope. They're feeling defeated, and I understand all of those things for sure. They just don't believe that it'll sell because the person that they were referred to before, the agent that they trusted before, was unable to get the home sold. Again, an accurately priced home, not what the agent thinks, not what the seller thinks, but what the buyers think is going to sell the house, right? So you can always know that a house is priced correctly by the amount of showings and offers that comes in the first 2 or 3 weeks. Shouldn't take 6 months, right? Unless it's so unique that there's only one buyer in the I don't know what they call it, the solar system that would buy this thing. Okay, number three, they've been giving bad advice by agents who don't work over the winter, because those agents have convinced themselves and their current and former clients that nothing happens during after Halloween and till May. I don't know where this comes from. I think it's just a byproduct of some agents. There's some agents, like, we obviously carry a very large listing inventory, comparatively speaking, and so we have this data year over year over year. I've been doing this for 14 years. There's just some agents that we just don't see from until May comes around. It's like I don't know, like they're hibernating with the grizzly bears. I'm not exactly sure what's happening. So, but it's true. And then we don't. Then after the end of September or whatever, maybe a little bit of October, and then we don't hear from them. We just don't. And it's just, I don't understand that. But anyway, so there's this feeling out there, especially in Montana, like, wow, just nothing sells. Houses sell every single month of the year, right? The question is, are you working? Okay, so how do we help sellers see the light when it comes to waiting till spring? Okay, now, of course, you're never going to drag a low motivation seller, uphill, downhill, through the price reductions and through what's going on in the market. They're not going to listen to your data. The only thing in their mind is this magical price that they want that has nothing to do with reality. Okay, we call that fantasy land pricing. Okay, don't fall prey to that. Agents, dear agents, do not fall prey to that. First, we have to understand that they may not understand the market. They have an opinion. I'm just reading my notes if I'm looking down. Okay, I don't have this memorized, I just wrote it. So they have an opinion based on likely bad information, potentially from that agent that works 3 months out of the year, potentially from a neighbor, maybe a family member, but it's not really based on reality. It's not based on anything, but it is their ideal. It is what they believe, and sometimes you just can't change that. Okay. So again, they're basing their decision or objection on false data. Number two, our job is to redetermine and requalify for motivation. We should only be working with 8, 9, or 10s on the motivation scale. It's very difficult with someone with a 2, 3 motivation level. They're just testing the waters to, if there's no showings, it's just persistent no showings, no offers. It's just dead. It's just crickets chirping on the property. It's very difficult to if they're low motivation, it's very difficult to move the price point down to where the fish are biting, if you will. Our job is to let them know that seasonality, and this is important, seasonality plays less of a role in the sale of a home than the amount of inventory or competition that they are encountering at that time. Okay, number 4, we have to dig in to what happened when it was listed before, if this is an expired listing. How many showings, how many offers did you get, what the feedback was, and so on. Okay, dig into what level of service or communication that they had or that they received. Try to figure out what happened, because obviously you want to come in and do something different without bashing that agent, because you never in life have to make someone look bad to make yourself look good. If you do, you're an absolute, I hate to say asshole, but I will. But maybe idiot is a better word. I don't know. I mean, what are your thoughts? Okay, so sorry, just keeping it real, right? You don't have to, and that goes for anything in life. Okay, number 5, they have to understand that in most cases, especially on expired listing, they already tried the market they're trying this year that they're trying to re-enter next year. So if it didn't work this year in a better market than I believe it'll be next year, why the heck is it going to work next year if it didn't work this year if you're doing it the same exact time? Okay, I'll never understand why people think that a green lawn or a freaking tulip or a daffodil has anything to do with the actual sale of a home. I mean, it really doesn't. Like, oh yeah, I'm going to pay 100 grand more for a freaking tulip. Said no buyer ever. Okay, truly. Okay, now here's some objection handlers, some things that we as agents can tell to sellers. And sellers, listen up. I mean, these are things we're gonna, hopefully everybody's gonna be saying to you. So, you know, you can get a little ahead of it, get a little strategy, but these are all true. Okay, it appears that you tried listing in the spring or summer last time, it didn't work. What will happen? What will be different this time? Number 2, if you could net 5 to 10% more by selling now before all that other inventory comes on next year, right, that you're competing against, wouldn't that be worth 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes of your time? It's a very simple question, okay? Number 3, number next, if you had received a full price offer last week when it was on the market, would you have taken it? So for sellers, if you would have taken an offer last week, why would you not take one in a week or two, right? What if a different marketing plan? What if a different, what if someone was honest with you on pricing, right? Do you hire someone to be honest with you, or do you hire someone to be dishonest with you, right? There's so much desperation in the real estate world right now because of the lack of closing, and most people's business is going down, and the truth tellers' businesses are going up. It's one of those things that's just, again, running rampant. So I think in today's day and age, rather than run comps and have a hard conversation now, the agents are just sliding a listing contract across the table and say, just write in whatever price. I want to go home and tell my spouse that I took a listing today. I just think that I just think that's happening. I'm sorry. How about if I could show you how to sell it in the next 10 to 15 days, like line by line, point by point? Would that be worth a few minutes of your time? Right? Worst case scenario, you're more educated, and best case scenario, we can just get it sold for top dollar right now before we're competing against all those other homes. If you don't like what I have to say, right, I'll leave the car running in the driveway. If you don't like what I have to say, you can just throw me out. At least you'll be better educated, right? At least you'll know the reason. Number 1, why your house didn't sell. Number 2, what it would take to sell. Number 3, how long it will take to sell it. I can show you all those things, okay? Number 6, what was the reason you listed 6 months ago before your contract recently expired? What did next look like for you? Where were you headed off to next? What was important about that? How would that make you feel? Like, we're supposed to find out what these people want, these sellers want. It's not about us. It's not about commission breath. It's like, really, how can we serve them at the highest level? And truth is the answer to that question, even though you probably didn't ask it. Okay, now, number 8. Have you ever, or how did you feel when it didn't sell? Did it put a wrench in your plans, right? Like, emotion is everything, right? We're trying to figure out why these things didn't happen. Number 8, was there ever a time you felt like the last marketing plan or the last agent didn't do everything that they promised? Because let's face it, most people just put up a sign and put up their feet, right? Or they just do a couple, duck face social media. And now I'm on social media right now, but I, notice I haven't, put my lips together like that or anything like that, or said, hey guys, or whatever, that I hear every day on social media. Okay, what if there's a girl and you said, hey guys? Okay, I don't know, that's not good. Okay, so tell me about your experience the last time. Do you still need to sell your home? Okay, so again, we're digging into motivation. Someone who doesn't have to sell their home is not going to allow you to reduce the price oftentimes. What would you do with an extra $50,000 net in your pocket? Do you still, again, need to sell your home? Who told you that selling in the spring or summer when all those other homes on the market is a good strategy? Okay. I mean, I don't know. I'd rather sell my house when there's 200 homes on the market rather than 400, or 400 rather than 650. I'm just saying, there's just less competition out there, more showings, right? More showings per house when there's less inventory, more offers typically. It's very, very simple math. I mean, I can do that math. I mean, I'm not super good at math, but I can do that. If the market goes down another 5 to 10% as it continues to retract, which I think we can all agree it is, okay? There's so much inventory, 63 price reductions I saw yesterday when I logged in the MLS in our area. That's not a small amount of price reduction. Something's happening, right? So why not get ahead of that, right? So yeah, I know you might not sell it for as much as you want, but it should be more than if you wait till next year to sell it, right? Yes, because of inventory. Yes, because of declining prices. They're not going down like a lot, but they're still going down. So why make all those mortgage payments? Why make all those tax payments? Why do that when you can just sell it now for more than last year? Plus, you don't have to make all those payments. You can put that towards your next house. Seems to make sense to me. But you know, what about if we could get your house sold and move you seamlessly into your next property before the snow flies, which is sometimes you know, a condition. People don't want to move when there's snow. Of course, I don't know why that matters because we live in Montana and there's usually lots of snow except last year. Would you consider meeting today or tomorrow at 4? Okay. What's the real reason you want to wait until spring? You need to isolate the actual objection. You should have built enough rapport by now to figure that out. Hear them out, right? People want to be heard more than anything in life. Okay. And then, you know, always the joke of the daffodils somehow going to make you an extra $50,000. So I hope that was helpful for you. And I hope you have a great day.